ScouterStan. Thank you for joining me for the 12th season of our podcast. We are looking to put out a whole bunch of really great materials that you don't want to miss. And today's subject is near and dear to my heart, and that, of course, is the Scout Oath and Law. The Scout Oath and Scout Law really represent the core values of Scouting. And we teach young people these oaths and keywords of the law to really reinforce good ethical behavior. And this goes on through their lives. Even after they're no longer in Scouting, they go on in the professional world with these guidelines for good ethical behavior for the rest of their lives. So it's absolutely critical that we think about every single word in the oath and all of the key words that are in the Scout Law. You will find that these two parts actually integrate to one another. The 3 promises inside of the oath and the 12 points or key words in the Scout Law. Now, if we look at the Scout Oath, we are often reminded when we make the Scout sign that there are 3 upright fingers of the right hand. These 3 fingers represent the 3 promises that we swear on our honor to uphold. The first one is to God and country. The second one is to help others at all times. And the third is for our own personal growth and strength. So when you make the Scout sign, you're giving a physical representation of the oath. This is tied into where the thumb is placed over the pinky. That links to the Scout Law, which is your arm in an L shape as you hold the Scout sign up. That's the physical representation of these 2 big principles. Now, in the first part of the oath, we also mention the Scout Law. The Scout Law in the United States are key words. These key words link to every part of the Scout Oath. Now, when they say these words, it's to remind them of points within the Scout Oath. Trustworthy and loyalty has a lot to do with the Scout's honor, and that's right at the beginning of the oath. So the next time you're repeating these key words of the Scout Law, think of what it relates to within the Scout Oath. We teach the Scout Oath and Law even to Cub Scouts who may not really grasp the meaning of all the words. And that's okay. At least they have the exposure to them and they can think upon them as they grow and put them into practice. Later, as they grow and mature and eventually go on to a Scout troop, these will have a deeper meaning, so they won't be unfamiliar concepts coming from Cub Scouts into a troop. And as they progress through the troop and all the ranks and everything they do within the troop, according to the Scout Oath and Law, it can't help but improve the overall thoughts towards leadership of others. These principles that help them guide their personal lives also comes through in a professional life. Their leadership and being there with all of the ideas that are represented within the Oath and Law is a meaningful thing for a lot of leaders in the profession, in their community. This helps them embody these ideas. Now, there are many challenges and maybe even missteps in a Scout's future, and we should acknowledge these basic truths within the Oath and Law. Even the Oath says that you're going to do these on your best. And to prevent from getting lost along the way, it would be nice to have something that could remind you daily. A lot of Scouts and in a lot of Scout shops will have a challenge coin that has the Scout Law on them. This is a wonderful thing to put in your pocket to kind of remind you to make sure that you do that good turn. And whenever a huge decision comes up, you can reach in your pocket and be reminded of the Scout Law and the keywords and all of the principles that are connected to the Scout Oath. Now, this could also be a wallet card that you could easily put in to remind you of these same key words and all of the learning that went along with that. It could be a reminder. I even know of Scouters that have printed out the key words to the Scout Law and have put it up in their office just to remind them and to remind others of the key principles of the Scout Law. Now, I encourage listeners to really think about and reflect on their lives and consider how they can incorporate these principles. Now, there are some practical steps for implementing these values. Simply writing the word trustworthy or thrifty on a credit card front is a great reminder. These timeless values are extremely important and relevant, not only for today's youth, but for all Americans. Scouting values are so important, they can actually be used much later in life. Think about the Scout Oath and Scout Law and all of its meanings and how it has shaped your decisions as a Scouter. To help others is the reason you're in Scouting, and that's why you're listening to this podcast. It is so important. Keep up that good, hard work, because your young people that you're helping need this. Until next time, I'll see you on the trail.